Welcome to another edition of Coffee with the Goose. You know we talk about things that are interesting, fascinating, and irritating. Yes, I'm the Goose. Glad to have you back. Got some interesting topics to cover today. We'll focus, I think, mostly on boxing and, of course, specifically Manny Pacquiao, but we'll go through the whole range. But before we do, of course, you have to have our medicine. My medicine's still legal, last I checked. Coffee, very strong, like my opinion. Got some creamer in there to make it sweet, just like me. All right. What is the latest with Manny Pacquiao? First of all, we've kind of narrowed down the list of potential opponents for Manny. We talked about this earlier. It ain't going to be Conor McGregor, okay? And that's been pretty much put to rest here the last few days. It's not going to be Triple G, even though we really wanted to see that. I wanted to see that fight. But neither of those two fighters want to move too far out of their comfort zone as far as weight divisions is concerned. Triple G, of course, is a middleweight. Pacquiao is a welterweight. So here's what's happening. I checked out the list, the Ring magazine, which is the Bible of boxing knowledge. And here is their list of the top 6 welterweight fighters. The number one, in their opinion, is Errol Spence Jr. Spence, of course, is the WBC and IBF welterweight title holder. Number 2, Terence Crawford, is the let's see if I can remember, WBO title holder. And then number 3 is Manny Pacquiao, the other title holder in the World Boxing Association. Rounding out the top 6 are all former title holders, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, and Danny Garcia. Okay, here's the latest. Errol Spence Jr. has agreed to fight Danny Garcia on November 21st. And that's going to be a great fight. I'm looking forward to watching that. And he, Spence, that is, took a jab at Pacquiao, of course. And, good for him. He's an undefeated champion, and, he has every right to take a jab at anyone he wants. And he basically kind of mirrored what Floyd Mayweather has said in the past, that Pacquiao is using his name or some such nonsense. And and Pacquiao came back with a beautiful response. Not one word, just his evil stare. All in good fun. You can see in the background his friends were laughing. But when you want to get down into the down and dirty, if you're on the wrong side of Manny Pacquiao, that's a bad place to be. But a great response by Manny Pacquiao. Anyhow, Errol Spence Jr. will not be Pacquiao's opponent in the fall. The matchup between Spence and Garcia should be a great one. Garcia, a former title holder, he's only lost twice in his career. And Spence, still unbeaten, 26-0 with 21 KOs, coming off that great split decision victory over Sean Porter last year. And of course, the big question mark with Spence continues to be the state of his recovery from that horrible car accident back in October. Well, we'll see in November when he fights Garcia. I'll watch that, and we'll talk about that in future shows. How about Terence Crawford? We were hoping that would be the real opponent for Pacquiao this fall, and it's starting to look like that's not going to happen. And put all the blame on the shoulders of Bob Arum of Top Rank, Pacquiao's former boss. It's starting to look like Terence Crawford is going to fight the great welterweight Kell Brooks from Britain. That would be a great fight. But Crawford and Arum still say they want Pacquiao. I don't know if that's going to happen. If it doesn't, the real reason it won't is it's not going to make money. As great a fighter as Crawford is, his resume is just nothing to brag about. And, if you haven't made a name for yourself, and that's how you do it in the boxing world, is who have you fought? Who have you beaten? He really hasn't beaten anybody that's that impressive. And so it won't be a big money-making bout. So who's left for Pacquiao? You got me. I don't think it'll be Sean Porter, even though that would be a great fight too. I really don't know who that's going to leave for Pacquiao. It remains to be seen. Hopefully we'll find out pretty soon. But I'm sure it'll be a very worthy opponent not just some bum picked off the streets. He just doesn't do that. So we'll see. Anyhow, a couple other Pacquiao stories that cracked me up. One is, and this is actually not very new, but it's come back in the news. Pacquiao joked a while back that Ronda Rousey, the great, or formerly great MMA fighter, would beat Floyd Mayweather Jr. I love it. And of course, Ronda Rousey came back with the response, yeah, of course I will in MMA. Of course, she'll make Floyd Mayweather cry. That would be hilarious. But of course, Floyd wouldn't do that because there's too much risk. Ronda Rousey, to her credit, admits she wouldn't beat him in boxing, but who knows? Floyd would probably run from her too, like he runs from everybody. Anyhow, one more quick note on Pacquiao, and that regards his son, Michael. And it's funny, you can't mention Pacquiao's name without Floyd Mayweather entering the picture. Whether it's for whatever reason, I think a lot of it is jealousy. In this case, it's not really Floyd, it's his son. Manny's son, Michael, has come out with a rap video. It's pretty good, but he's like his dad. And what I mean by that is he's modest. He's not braggadocious. He's not, hey, look at me, I'm the man, I'm the greatest. That's not how they roll. That's not how Filipinos roll anyhow. You guys know that. But Floyd's son, just like the old man, is, I think, just jealous. And he's, he wants to get into making rap videos too. And, good for him. But unfortunately, the haters come out. And there's never a shortage of fools out there who, with their hatred and their imbecile comments, well, here you go with Manny Pacquiao's kid. The haters have come out and with their vitriol. And, it's just too bad. And I know he's an adult. That's the way this world is. You're a big boy. You got to take it. And I'm sure he's taken it. It's not a big deal. He knows the drill. He's seen it with his dad in the boxing world. So, nobody's hurt. No big deal. But it's just, it's funny. It's ironic. It's interesting to watch. Whenever the Mayweathers get in the picture, here comes the drama. Here comes the soap opera. Here comes the childish nonsense. Never fails. And here we see it again. And you know what? Something tells me in the future, if Pacquiao has a grandkid and Floyd has a grandkid, the same thing will happen. The apple just doesn't fall very far from the tree. Okay, but it's I prefer to laugh at it instead of getting upset. But you could tell when you watch Manny's kids, he and Jinky know what they're doing as parents. They're good kids. They're modest. They're well educated. They're respectful. Just what we all want our kids to be. So good for you, Manny and Jinky. Anyhow, that's the latest from the boxing world. Nothing really, no real headlines to give you other than what's not going to happen. Again, just to remind you, Errol Spence Jr. Is going to fight on November 21st. He's going to fight Danny Garcia. That's going to be a great matchup. Both of these guys bring it. They're not runners. They're not dancing around pity-patty like somebody already mentioned. These guys bring it, and they give you your money's worth. And that's going to be a great fight to watch. And who knows? I'm not going to make a prediction right now, but Spence is if he's healthy after the car wreck, that's a big if, I don't know. But if he is, he's a big dog. He comes to fight. He comes to beat you up. He doesn't play games. So that'll be fun to watch. And as far as Pacquiao is concerned, it's starting to look now like it won't be Terrence Crawford, even though we want it. Wish upon a star all day long. What you wish is not going to happen. It's starting to look like Terrence Crawford is going to fight Kell Brooks, and that'll be a great fight. And I just want to remind you, if you don't know much about Kell Brooks, he is the only fighter who really got the best of Errol Spence Jr. years ago, even though he lost. At one point, I believe it was the second round, Spence broke an orbital bone on Kell Brook. Remember, that's what happened with Pacquiao against Antonio Margarito. And like Margarito, Kell Brook kept fighting. He's a man. And in the 5th round, he was leading on the scorecards when his corner threw in the towel. So it was a TKO, and Spence got the win. But Kell Brooks is a tough guy. He's a tough guy. He's not going to just roll over and play dead for you. And I really think he could beat Terrence Crawford. So anyhow, we'll see. But as far as Pacquiao is concerned, you got me.
Rob,
I don't know. Yeah.
What about McGregor?
McGregor, it's not going to happen. And who's the big shot at the MMA? What is his name again?
White?
Dana White said, with a few adult words tossed in, ain't going to happen. It's just not going to happen. He wants McGregor back in MMA where he really shines and where he's really a star. He's just not a fighter. And just to let you know my opinion, if Pacquiao ever fought McGregor in the ring, it'd kind of be like when Mayweather fought Ricky Hatton and took him out in the 10th round, and Pacquiao destroyed him in the 2nd round. It'd be the same thing. Mayweather, yeah, he beat Conor McGregor. That's corruption. It was a show. It was not a fight. The referee stopped that fight and should not have stopped it. Let's be serious. Watch that if you like. He was not hurt in the least bit. And I still think if in a serious fight, McGregor might just give Floyd Mayweather some serious troubles in boxing. I really think that. But Manny would take him out in a couple of rounds. It'd be a joke. So anyway, that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. That's it for this edition of Coffee with the Goose. Thank you so much for joining me. Many thanks to my producer, Jude. Without you, man, this just wouldn't happen. Thank you so much for all your hard work. Thanks, you guys, for subscribing. The number keeps growing. We really appreciate all you guys for watching. And we got some good shows yet to come, so stick with me. All right? Take care.